In the mid-1950s, a complete redesign of Chrysler Corporation cars was effected by Chief Design Engineer Virgil Exner, who came up with this new program of design and a new look which was called, or was deemed, the forward look. The cars became lower and sleeker, and Chrysler also incorporated a lot of mechanical advances into their cars. Come 1960, the forward look was kind of running out of steam a little bit, so Exner pulled out all the design stops to create what we have today, which is here a very, very, in my opinion, special car. This is a 1960 Plymouth Fury convertible. It's the very end of the 1950s look, but it incorporated so many of these new design touches. Let's just take a look at this car. Let's just slowly walk around this car and take in some of the features, and I'll talk my way through it. Okay, first of all, let's look at the front of the car. The traditional Plymouth badge was always an emblem which showed the Mayflower cutter ship, which obviously came across the Atlantic, settled at Plymouth, berthed at Plymouth Rock in the United States. A very traditional image of Plymouth. For 1960, we got this, what I can only describe as a rocket look emblem. And this basically set the tone for the redesign of the car in 1960. Let's step back and take a look at this car. And the only way I can describe this car is space age. Virgil Exner really embraced the mid-century modern look with the redesign of this car, and space was a theme. A lot of people don't understand the 1960 Fury and exactly where Exner was coming from, but look at this. We have a star, a shooting star effectively, which tells you what this car is. The detail's beautiful. It's a Fury. Fury was Plymouth's top of the range car. And with this design of this car, we've got all these space age rocket-like features. Look at the mirror, the design of that. We've got a beautiful wrap-round windshield. If we can just step back from the car and take in the whole profile and see what we have here. Look at the style of this motor car. Have you ever seen a car that looked more like a spaceship than this? It's amazing. We've got an almost flush fit door handle. Look at the wealth of stainless steel and trimmings. The tail fins, obviously, this was marketed as something that would give you high speed stability. Look at the style of that. We've got the spare wheel on the back. And look at the colours, so 1950s yet again, bright, vibrant, in your face. I'll just take a walk around this car before I get to the interior. Amazing space age features. Let's take a look at the inside of the car. The space theme continues. We've got a wonderful tri-tone, triple tone interior here. We've got metallic gold beading on the seat. We've got a wonderful woven brocade with silver and gold and black in there. Look at the instrumentation pod. I'm just going to come around the other side so we can see this. First of all, we've got an independently floating instrument binnacle. Itself looks like something from the space age. Transmission, we've got the famed Chrysler 3-speed torque flight transmission, which did set new standards in automatic transmissions in the 1950s. It's still here with the 1960 car. If we just pan back a little bit, the steering wheel. Plymouth called this the aero wheel. I mean, what a great name for a steering wheel. Beautiful clear plastic with a gold tint, with flecks of glitter inside there as well. The idea being the sun would shine through the windshield onto the steering wheel and cast stars across the interior, which of course would reflect with the brocade that was woven in the seat fabric. Just a wonderful, wonderful design. It's so 60s, it's so space age. Think the Jetsons American TV series from 1962. This car was built almost 10 years before man landed on the moon, but you can see where Exner was coming from with his design. Beautiful fit doors. Look at the stainless steel, the wheel trims. I mean, what a look this car has. This particular car is a really special car. I've known this car for the last 30 years of my life, so I know a lot of the history. It has the most amazing history. What makes this car so special? First of all, the colour scheme, I think, just works with this car so well. Metallic blue with the beautiful white coving. This car's done a genuine 44,000 miles from new. It's a documented 44,000 miles. And the condition tells you that this car is a true survivor. We've got an original interior which has never been touched, never been restitched, never been recovered. All the glass is original in the car. We've got no wiper marks on here, no scratches. You'll see very small imperfections here and there on the car, but this is a real survivor class example. Now, Chrysler Corporation, with their engineering prowess and latest developments, declared something really special for 1960. This was the very first unibody construction car that Chrysler manufactured, and with that, the separate chassis or frame with a bolt-on body was eliminated, and they created a body shell which had massive structural integrity. It was rigid, it was strong, it made for a much better driving car, a car with less body roll, a car with less flex in the body. It was a new generation. Of course, 1960 is the start of a new decade, and people want to see advances. The auto manufacturers wanted to bring in new things. So the unibody construction made a lighter car. In the horsepower race, people wanted better performance. This style of car, a lot of people will call this the jet age. Well, now we were getting into a performance that started to match the phrase, the jet age. This car was agile, it was fast. Police departments liked to use Chrysler Corporation products from 1960 because the handling was so good. In the assembly of this car and the creation of the body shell, Chrysler quoted a total of almost 5,500 individual welds to construct this car and create such wonderful rigidity. So this was a new age of driving style. It's a 1950s car in terms of style, but in terms of driving, it's sleek. It's extremely agile and quick off the mark. It has the feel of a 60s car. This was a new generation. So I'm going to pop the hood so we can see underneath and how this car is put together. The big hemispherical Hemi engine, which Chrysler was famed for, was long gone by 1960. This is a 318 cubic inch wide block engine with what we call the polyspherical heads. This was deemed as being much more fuel efficient, much more lightweight than the old outdated Hemi. This made this car a really super agile car and economical too. It was great on gas for its time. So yet again, I'm going to just talk about the originality of this car. Correct air cleaner, generator, original Jiffy Jet, windshield washer, water bag there, original heater box. This car is correct. It's in the correct colour scheme, and we can see the originality, the original on the inner fenders. It's all great. If you just want to step back a little bit so we can take this in. Original stickers here on the front cross member piece there, underside of the hood. This car is just in incredible condition. Let's take a look inside the door. Beautiful straight panels. Inside the door we see the condition of the original door cards, original rubbers. The glass is all beautiful in this car. See the VIN tag inside the door hinges. Now the unibody construction of these cars were full of cavities, and they were quite renowned from rusting and suffered from quite extensive corrosion. If you want to just take a look on this side as well with the door hinges and the condition of the driver's seat, we can see all of this here as well. Even the original carpets have survived in this car. It is an absolute time warp of a machine. So these unibody designs, for all they gained and how great they were in terms of structural rigidity and being lightweight, they did suffer extensively from corrosion. This model in particular, I've been fortunate to own a number of 1960 Plymouth Furies, and this one I can tell you is absolutely exceptional in that it just hasn't suffered from the demon rust. Originally supplied to Nebraska, it then went to Ohio, and although this thing looks like a spaceship, it has never been to space, but it is a well-traveled vehicle. It has been to the other side of the planet, and it has spent time in the United Kingdom. So not only has it toured the Pacific Coast Highway here in California, but it has toured the coastal route of the beautiful county of Northumberland in England, back in the UK. So this car has an amazing history. It's well-traveled. It's so preserved in terms of condition. It's going to be almost impossible to beat the condition of this car. This really is a very, very special example. You just want to take one final walk around there, and then we'll fire her up and we'll show you how she runs. These 318 polyhead V8s just run so well. Little 2-barrel carburetor, smooth as smooth can be. Wonderful piece of mid-century, modern, simple engineering, but so effective, so good at its job. Okay, we'll just pull that down. We'll walk around the back and we can just see how, I don't know if the microphone's going to pick that up, but what a beautiful round note from the wide block V8. Sounds absolutely tremendous. So we're just going to jump in, drop it into gear. We'll show you how the push button transmission works if you want to come around this side. Talk about an age of efficiency and modernity. To drive the car, let's take off the parking brake. Who needs a shifter when you can have a push button to select forward propulsion? And here we go. And this car feels so light and agile on its feet. What an absolute delight to drive. And quick. And there we have it, people. An absolutely unique 1960 Plymouth Fury convertible. Top of the range offering from Plymouth that year. A documented 44,000 miles from new. This car drives as near to a new example as you will ever find. Absolutely wonderful.